Hey, it's Sam, and as you can see, I have this picture that says 2022-2023 shifts, and my goofy-looking face, it says, what's next? This is an extension of the 2022 forecast that I did, and we're now right here in this forecast, where we have Saturn and Jupiter had been both retrograde since the end of July. Now Saturn is about to move forward. This is a chart here of October 25th, which is when we're going to have the solar eclipse in Libra, and by that time Saturn is also moving forward. So a couple big shifts happening, which is the end of this reversal of duties and fortunes. Jupiter is still going to be retrograde until November 23rd, but we're now at this point of the reversal of duties and fortunes and the obsessive scrutiny of others, which is this Libra eclipse that's happening here on October 25th. And then shortly thereafter, fiery values and interests, Mars turns retrograde in Gemini. It'll be retrograde until January 2023. That's happening on October 30th. So we're right at a huge inflection point now with three big shifts in energy. Saturn moving direct, the solar eclipse in Libra, and Mars about to go retrograde. Now again, in and of themselves, these are big shifts, but when you consider Jupiter is also going to move forward and turn direct, so we'll be moving forward with our teachings and the recent wisdom we've been acquiring, because Jupiter's been retrograde, a lot of wisdom and reflection with Jupiter in Pisces. This isn't a regular Jupiter. This is Jupiter in Pisces. Retrograde. He's about to start moving forward, so we're really dialed in to the source of authentic wisdom. These last several months, in fact, since April of this year, when Jupiter went into Pisces, it's been a time where your relationship to what you believed has been shifted a lot, and probably you dissolved a lot of your preconceptions, especially as they relate to things you thought you knew. Well, I know what the meaning is, but blah, blah, blah. I hear this a lot in a lot of the readings that I've been doing. Well, we don't really know it until we're embodying it and living it. So this Jupiter retrograde in Pisces has been a time to recalibrate what you thought you actually knew, and in fact what it was you just believed in it. Belief in something is not knowledge. Knowledge is wisdom that's embodied. That's when you know something. Think about the things that you actually know. They are things that you actually have lived and have embodied. Everything else you just believe. And that means that you also believe you know. You don't know. So there's a lot of this relearning old lessons with this Jupiter-Saturn mutual and dual retrograde that we had, because they're both very dignified. Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Pisces. So again, when Jupiter turns direct in the end of November, it's an amazing time for you to put into practice these things that you thought you knew, but you really didn't. You needed to embody them more. And then, beginning of 2023, January, this is right around the corner, Saturn goes into Aquarius, and it's the end of the COVID era, and the new era begins. I call it the COVID era because COVID began when Saturn went into Capricorn. And I said at the time that we were going to be dealing with it at least through the end of this year and into 2023. It's still going to be that same cycle, that same era. I didn't say we'd be dealing with all the severity, but we'd still be dealing with whatever the lessons are that we've really learned about ourselves, about culture, about the world, with this Saturn and Capricorn transit. That cycle will be ending January of next year when Saturn goes into Aquarius, and now we're having to share with each other in a more universal way, all kinds of things which I'll be talking about in greater detail in my 2023 forecast and in future updates. But just to show you, all of these shifts are happening now, and then even by next April, Jupiter is going to be entering Aries, where he's going to join Rahu and whatnot. So we're right on the verge of a lot of these big shifts. And as you see, there was a link down there that said Sam's Readings 30-minute assessment. If you want to see how these things impact you, you want to also go to this website and you can get a 30-minute assessment. These assessments sell out really quickly. This was one from last year in my 22 assessment recording. You can see the dates. March 20th, these things sold out in like no time. So these things get snatched up really quickly. If you do want me to look at your chart, now a lot of people want those things. You can go and, to that samsreadings.com. But I also have these web classes. These are free web classes that you could get at marsretrogradecycle.com and at libraeclipse.com. These are free web classes that you can get. You just click register now, and you can just, get instant access to these web classes. You just give your name and email address, and it's sent right to you. These are comprehensive classes for your sign and for all 12 signs. Again, this solar eclipse in Libra is bringing in all types of spiritual and cultural issues. It's very important to understand the story of the Ramayana at this time, which is an Indian story. And I talk about all of the history and the cultural implications of this eclipse and the personal, because I talk about it for each of the 12 signs, including yours. Same is true with this Mars retrograde cycle. This is going to impact you for months because Mars pokes his head into Gemini here, Mrigashira Nakshatra, then he goes back to like 14 Taurus, then he goes forward again. So this is huge. These two houses really affect you. I talked about that in this web class, Mars retrograde for you and all 12 signs. So again, big shifts that are happening now. And again, if you did want a personal look at your chart, because this is what a lot of people also really are asking me for right now, so I decided to do some of these readings. They go quickly. So again, as it says, what's next? Be on the lookout for the 2023 forecast, which I'll be doing soon, and the most important shifts for your sign. This is from the 2022 forecast, the 10 most important shifts, and it's ending right here. Now this is coming, and the 2023 forecast is right around the corner. But right now, again, you can register below for this audio report about your chart and these huge shifts that are happening. You're going to want to know what the reversal of duties and fortunes, what these planets going direct are going to mean for you. Saturn going direct in Capricorn, Jupiter going direct in Pisces, Mars going retrograde in Gemini, whatnot, and then this this eclipse. What I'll do in the reading is just look over your chart and communicate the most important facets of all of these shifts for you, because you're going to be in a certain dasha cycle. These transits are going to be affecting you in a very specific way. Like, for example, if I were doing the reading based on my chart, I happen to have the moon in Libra, I have planets in Gemini, I actually have a lot of these planets getting affected, but I'm in a certain dasha cycle. So again, all of these things will be contextualized and personalized for you. These readings go very fast, though, so I don't want to lead you astray. If you see this, and you have any interest whatsoever, you should do it, because the readings go fast, as you can see here. I had to stop the readings after about a day, because these first started at 4:30 a.m. and then by 7 a.m. the next day I had to stop because there were too many. So if that's interesting, go ahead and do it, but definitely make sure to register for the Mars retrograde webinar and the Libra eclipse webinar as well. Big shifts ahead, and I wanted to make this quick update for you, and I hope you're doing well. You take care.